The tone will be calm, motivational, and conversational, like a wise storyteller who explains deep ideas in a simple, friendly way. Not too formal, not too dramatic, just smooth, engaging, and easy to speak on camera. You're standing in line at a coffee shop. You're late for work. The person in front of you is arguing with the cashier over a coupon that expired 3 years ago. You can feel it, that slow heat rising in your chest, breath getting sharp, your shoulders closing in. And just before you explode, time freezes. A calm voice whispers, "If you are angry, it is because you have forgotten that the world is not obligated to move the way you want." You turn around. Marcus Aurelius is sitting at a table, sipping a latte. If that visual suddenly made your anger disappear, congratulations, you've just tasted Stoicism. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to never get angry again using the complete Stoic Anger Management System, a system that ancient warriors, emperors, and philosophers used to dominate their emotions, and that you can apply today, even if you've been short-tempered your whole life. Let's begin. Anger is one of the most powerful emotions humans experience. But here's the truth most people never hear. Anger is not caused by people, not caused by events, not caused by life. Anger is caused by your expectations. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. Epictetus said it best, "We are disturbed not by things, but by our interpretation of things." So today, I want to walk you step by step through a complete, practical, real-life system that actually works, not random, stay calm advice, but a psychological operating system. One you can use every single day, whether someone cuts you off in traffic, insults you, ignores you, or betrays you. And to understand how this system works, let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I knew someone, let's call him Daniel. Daniel was one of those people who got angry at everything. If a driver didn't use their indicator, angry. If a coworker made a tiny mistake, angry like his house just caught on fire. But the worst moment came one morning during a meeting at work. His boss gave him a small comment. "Daniel, your report was good, but next time, make the summary a little shorter." That's it. That's all she said. But inside Daniel's head, the words twisted into something else. She thinks I'm not good enough. She doesn't value my work. She's disrespecting me in front of everyone. His heart raced. His face heated up. And suddenly, he snapped. He raised his voice. He argued. He even interrupted his boss. The whole room went silent. And in the silence, something happened. Daniel saw one of the newer employees, a young intern, staring at him wide-eyed, not scared, not angry, just disappointed. And in that instant, Daniel felt something he had never felt before. Shame. Because he realized his anger didn't make him powerful. It made him weak, predictable, out of control. That evening, he walked home alone. He opened his phone and typed, "How to stop getting angry." And that search led him to Stoicism. The first Stoic idea that hit him like a punch in the face was this. 1. The dichotomy of control. A simple sentence. Some things are in your control. Most things are not. Drivers not using the indicator? Not in your control. Boss giving feedback? Not in your control. People's opinions of you? Not in your control. But your reaction, your interpretation, your chosen meaning, always in your control. That night, Daniel realized something painful. He had been trying to control everything outside him because he had never learned to control what was happening inside him. Then he found lesson number 2. Anger is a temporary madness. Seneca wrote this, Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. This line broke Daniel because he realized every time he got angry, he wasn't punishing others, he was punishing himself, his peace, his mind, his relationships. Then he discovered the next lesson, the one that changed his life. Pause before you judge. The Stoics had a technique called primitatio, pause. When something triggers you, do not react. Do not speak, do not move. Just pause. Let the emotion rise, observe it, and let it pass like a cloud drifting through the sky. Epictetus said, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings." This hit Daniel deeply because he realized he wasn't angry at the world, he was angry at himself. His anger wasn't coming from what others did, it was from the stories he told himself. 4. Reframe the story. Let me show you exactly how Stoics do it. Event: someone insulted me. Old story: they disrespected me. Stoic story: their words reflect their character, not mine. Event: my boss criticized my report. Old story: I'm not good enough. Stoic story: criticism is feedback. Feedback is growth. Event: a driver cut me off. Old story: he's stupid and reckless. Stoic story: maybe he's rushing to the hospital. Maybe he made a mistake. I've made mistakes too. Reframing doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means giving yourself the most mentally healthy interpretation. And then Daniel reached the final lesson, the one that sealed his transformation. Practice voluntary discomfort. The Stoics believed that anger often comes from entitlement. When you think, I deserve this, I deserve better, things must go my way. Voluntary discomfort destroys that entitlement. Cold showers, working out, fasting, leaving your phone aside, doing something difficult on purpose. When you voluntarily face discomfort, what used to trigger you feels small. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." A few months later, something happened that tested Daniel's new Stoic system. He was stuck in traffic on a hot day, windows down, sweat dripping, late for a meeting, and then a motorcycle scraped the side of his car and drove away. Old Daniel? Instant explosion. But this time, he remembered the system. Control what you can, observe your emotions, pause, reframe, stay humble through discomfort. He took a slow breath, he unclenched his jaw, and he whispered, "Not in my control." For the first time in his life, he felt something powerful. Peace. Because the truth is, you don't become strong when you control others. You become strong when you control yourself. You don't become unbreakable by winning arguments. You become unbreakable by mastering your inner world. Anger doesn't make you powerful. Calm does. Patience does. Self-mastery does. And the moment you understand that, you stop being a slave to your emotions and start becoming the author of your life. Before you go, I want to ask you something. What if the next level of your life doesn't require more motivation, but less anger? Because here's the real question. Which type of anger do you struggle with the most? Sudden anger? Silent anger? Or long-held resentment? Tell me in the comments. I'm reading everything. And in the next video, I'm going to show you the advanced Stoic techniques that monks, athletes, and high-performance leaders use to become emotionally bulletproof, and that you can apply today, even if you've been short-tempered your whole life. Are you ready for that?